Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Let's make sure that we have everything going from a technology perspective. And we do. So, this is Danola Burton with Enhanced DNA with our publishing division today. And I am so excited to be here to welcome another book launch and author. And as you are coming on board, we want you to please say hi, tell us where you're from, just wave something to let us know you're here. And if you're watching on the replay, then go ahead and just let us know, replay, because we know that not everyone can be available when we go live. But today we are here with Enhanced DNA. We're here to have a virtual book launch for an amazing author, and her name is April Ervin, and we're going to bring her in, and we're going to see if we have any others joining us as we bring April to the live broadcast. So welcome, 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 April.
Thank you, Danola. Thank you so very much. Excited to be here this afternoon and praying some blessings over the technology, as I always do when I have these type of events, because technology is interesting, but grateful to be here this afternoon.
Oh, great. I see that we do have some people joining us. So yes, great. Go ahead and if you're joining us, just comment and say hi to us. But let's see, we've got Angela Wright is here. So welcome,
hello.
Angela. Angela is a friend of mine and she's from Houston. So we're so glad to have her here. I see Ron Brown is on here. He may not say anything, but he's here. And others are joining us. So, but Kiana Tucker, one of our fellow authors for Enhanced DNA are here. So thank you for joining us and helping us launch this #1 best-selling book. I'm so excited. So April, thank you first of all for coming. Thank you for writing this book. And if you would you please just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and this book, and just get us started today.
Okay, thank you, Danola. I'm going to do one quick thing because it looked like on Facebook that you're actually not able to see me on the live. So I just want to do a quick technology check. Okay. Danola, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, I wasn't showing up on Facebook. It just looked like, yeah.
Okay.
So again,
let's see if you're seeing me okay.
I see you on Facebook, but I didn't see myself.
Okay, well, let me check on Facebook again and see if I can confirm that you are there. Let's see. Trying to see how to find it here. Okay, I see you just fine, April.
Okay, all right.
Can you see yourself?
I can.
Okay.
So hopefully everyone.
We can see you on Facebook. So
well, again, I am grateful for this opportunity and so very grateful to you, Danola. This has been a journey, a labor of love to launch this second in a series for the Burnout Factor. And this book, The Burnout Factor on Leadership, Managing Burnout in a Time of Unprecedented Change. And, for some who have known you, I actually published a different book in 2018, 2 years ago, The Burnout Factor on Education, 7 Strategies to Sustain Your Leadership in Your Life. You see, my titles are long. I'm a little bit of a verbose speaker and writer, but the true impetus for this book, in all honesty, Danola, is everything we've been experiencing in 2020. I mean, we all know this has been, I have not used the word unprecedented more in my entire life than in this year. And so we've all been experiencing really an unprecedented year and everything we've been experiencing. And many people have said to me, you know, April, we are really dealing with burnout at a whole new level. And so that was really the reason to write this second version of the book.
Why, thank you, April. And, you know, I mentioned at the beginning that this is a #1 bestseller. So on Amazon, when this book released in the ebook form, it hit #1 on the hot new releases and #1 on the bestseller list. And that is quite an accomplishment. And we could not have done it, obviously, without all of you who have purchased the book. So, April, I know there's some people you want to thank. So why don't you go ahead and take a moment to talk a little bit about the book, the people involved in creating it, and how you feel about being a best-selling author.
Wow. So first I have to say thank you again. I've been able to thank folks, everyone who participated in the pre-order of the book and getting the ebook to allow me to become a #1 new hot release and a #1 Amazon bestseller in the category of education leadership. So that was absolutely amazing. But the process of birthing this book, it has been a birthing for anyone who has children. You know, when you're birthing and bringing something to life, you go through an extensive journey. So of course I have to celebrate you, Danola, as my publisher and my editor, and really supporting me, because this book came to fruition in a very short period of time. And so it took a great deal of work, but I'm grateful that it is now available on Amazon, now available on my website. And most importantly, that what I've written, my hope and prayer is that it blesses everyone who reads it. In addition to that, I have to celebrate my amazing photographer, cover designer, Nicole Powell, who was just amazing in the first book and this book. And then on my cover also, I'm so extremely blessed. I have to shout out to my childhood friend, my prayer sister, one of my closest, dearest friends, India Snorton, who is my cover model. So you'll see, I actually have both books here. So there are 2 pictures of India, 2 different photos of India on this book, but she has really sowed a seed in this work in my ministry of addressing burnout. So I'm truly grateful to her as well.
Well, we have truly been excited about all of those of you who have already purchased the book. So I want to make sure that you know that we want to celebrate somebody who has purchased this book. So as we go through the broadcast today, if you purchased either the ebook or the paperback book, which again is now available on Amazon, and you purchased it before Monday, and put your name in the comments on this thread, then we are going to select one lucky winner to win a $25 Amazon gift card. So make sure you type in there paperback or ebook. And if you just so happen to have purchased both of them, you will get entered twice. So enter your paperback ebook. And you have until Monday to actually purchase. So you don't have to have already purchased, because we're doing this launch over the weekend. You'll have more time to come back to this particular feed on Facebook. We'll find all of the different places where it's been shared. And we will pick someone to win a $25 gift certificate. So make sure you type in there in the comments.
Definitely. Yes, yes. We want someone to win that.
Yes. So April, tell us a little bit about why burnout. What was the interest in burnout, and why did you start writing about it?
You know, it's an interesting journey, Danola, because I always say that we teach what we need to learn and learn what we need to teach. The reason that I can speak and teach and coach and support people so clearly on burnout, because I burned out, because I was that young leader many years ago, early in my career, that really did burn out. I was attempting to be superwoman and do all things and be all things and climb the career ladder and support my family and all of those things. But the reality is, in that process, the one person that got left behind was me. And so I went through a pretty extensive journey where my health began to fail early in life, because I was really, burning the candle at both ends. And so that is why I write about burnout. I always laugh a little bit because I think God is a comedian, because, I continue to write about burnout because I still struggle with it. I share with my clients all the time, I am in this journey with you. I have not fully figured it out. I just burned out trying to finish this book. But the reality is I have learned to recalibrate. That's become one of my favorite words, because as I share with my clients, it's always not going to be a balance. I call it a harmony, because harmony is this. We're going to have peaks and valleys in everything that we do, but then we have to step back and recalibrate, and have the opportunity to ensure that we don't stay in a place of burnout, and we start to put things in place to ensure that it does not regress to a place where it really severely affects our health like it did early for me in my career.
Great. Oh, wow. Sound like I have an echo now.
Oh, goodness.
I've been intrigued ever since I've met you that the title for your company is Sustainable Leadership, but the title of your role in the company is Chief Peace Officer. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, that's interesting. God gave me that title several years ago, and I smiled a little bit because I had never heard anyone called a Chief Peace Officer. But what I know is peace is priceless. Peace is priceless. And so I, own my business as an LLC and all of that. But my mission and my purpose is to bless people to have peace. And so that is my favorite title. I always smile a little bit because I've had a lot of titles over my career. I've been an executive director. I've been a managing principal. I've been an investment banker. I've been all of those things. But Chief Peace Officer is my favorite title, because that's the one that really speaks to it, everything that I'm really called to do, because this is really a ministry for me. It really is. It's a business, but it's also a ministry, and it's helping people that understand that you can still achieve everything in your life and have peace, that you can have peace in the midst of chaos. I've been through that journey as well. So that's why it's my favorite.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I think all of us have been through a period of time when we have either been on the verge of burnout or have burned out. I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, to give us a little bit from the book.
Sure.
A quote, a paragraph, something that you think would be beneficial to us and encourage us to want to purchase the book.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I actually did have a section that I wanted to share with the audience, and prayerfully you can hear me okay. So it says, in 2019, I was blessed to speak to a group of leaders from a local chapter of the National Association of Female Executives. During my talk, a man raised his hand with a question. I later learned he had attended the session to support his wife who was experiencing burnout. That's a good husband. As I engaged in questions, he asked, "Why doesn't the World Health Organization know about your book?" I looked back at him a bit perplexed and curious. I responded, "Well, I don't know. From your mouth to God's ears." He went on to tell me that over the summer, the World Health Organization had designated burnout as a disease. Let that settle in for a moment. Burnout is a disease. According to the WHO, chronic stress and overworking were considered an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not yet been successfully managed. Hearing that from that gentleman last spring made me even more committed to my mission and purpose to help others eliminate burnout. At a pivotal point in my own leadership career, I made the decision that the cost of moving up the career ladder far outweighed the benefits. The sacrifices of working long hours, weekends, and extensive travel were just too much. Trying to be Superwoman was just no longer worth it. My definition of success dramatically shifted. As I struggled with my health, going up the career ladder was just no longer my motivation. I was more motivated by trying to figure out how at the age of 35, I was 100 pounds overweight and facing serious health issues. At a certain point, my doctor said these poignant words to me: "April, you have two choices. You can either find something else to do or manage significant health issues for the rest of your life." My future and very life were at stake. So that's really at the very beginning of the book, where it talks about my journey of burnout at the age of 35. And I am blessed to turn 50 on December 15th of this tumultuous year that we're experiencing. So that's 15 years ago that I experienced my journey, my early journey of burnout. And I said it was my brick wall moment, because when that doctor said those words to me at that young age, I knew I had to change. But I always joke that I'm one of God's hard-headed little children. So it took me a long time and still to this day. But that was really the pivotal shift for me. And it helped me to realize over these last 15 years, again, that it's not necessarily just focusing on burnout. What I've shifted my dialogue as well, because I recognize burnout has a negative connotation, but we have to embrace our inner resilience. We have to embrace our inner resilience and our perseverance. And that's been my journey over the last 15 years to really persevere through a number of things and just realize how resilient I am. And so that is really what I share through the book, and encourage the readers to understand that right now in 2020, we are going through an ultimate reset. Everything has shifted in our lives. But while it may not have been at this level, we've been here before. Not the same. I mean, this is a whole nother level, but all of us have experienced life circumstances that have changed us dramatically, and then we've come through. So that's really the ultimate message in the book, is that we will persevere and we can embrace our resilience. So I call myself a leadership resilience expert instead of a leadership burnout expert. I know burnout, I do. I can teach you about burnout, but I also want the readers and my clients and those that I support to understand that we have so much resilience in us.
Yeah, I think that many times, I'm going to speak for women, maybe myself, but we oftentimes think that we can do everything. We've got this superwoman mentality, and you know we're career women sometimes, we're mothers sometimes. We just try to do it all, and we have to come to a realization about self-care.
Yes.
And so I know that a lot of what you do is helping leaders to overcome. I know the first book was more around education, and this one more around leadership. So tell us a little bit more. Show us the books again.
Sure.
And tell us a little bit more about that.
So the first book was in 2018, The Burnout Factor on Education, 7 Strategies to Sustain Your Leadership in Your Life. And so with this first book, so I have been blessed to work in education and nonprofit for the past 18 years. And so I had an opportunity to see what burnout was like in that sector. And it is extensive, as any educator, any leader, any principal, any nonprofit executive understands. The burnout is extremely high. So in that first book, I really talk a lot about my own journey of burnout as an executive director of a nonprofit. But I also talk, Danola, exactly what you said. We have to practice radical self-care. If we don't take care of ourselves, nobody else is. Nobody's going to do that for us. And so some of the chapters talk about putting yourself first, the transformative power of doing less, make ending burnout a strategic priority. We can be strategic in everything. And so that book was really also a labor of love, because I really wanted to share it with all those who I had connected with in education, and then just across the country, about how do we sustain ourselves as we focus on the children. I call them the commodities. The children are the ultimate outcome in education. But this book, The Burnout Factor on Leadership, the reason I talk about leadership is because I have worked in leadership for the duration of my career for the past 25 years. But this book is really about managing burnout in 2020. And so what I talk about in this book, I say is unconventional leadership strategies. I talk about mind your mental health, mind your emotional health, mind your physical health. Sometimes in work, we don't want to mix the things. We think that it has to be separate. It's personal. But I always say, what you do professionally, you do personally. And what you do personally, you do professionally. So this book is a little different and really focused on where we are in 2020. And it's also a journal. So there are places in there that the readers can write. I know some folks who purchased the ebook said, no, I want the hard copy. The hard copy is available now on Amazon and at aprilirvin.com and at enhanceddna.com. But it really isn't a journal, because I want people to reflect on what this year has been like for them. That's really my encouragement for the reader, to reflect on. It's been hard. It's been challenging. And I include in the book just the challenges I've experienced in this year. But I want everyone to reflect on that. But again, that ultimate message as you get closer to the end of the book is that we will, I will give it away because it's one of my favorites, but I have a t-shirt that I purchased some years ago. And the front of it said, life knocked me down, but I got back up. I got back up. And so that's my mantra for my life journey that I've experienced. And that's what I want everyone to realize through this book. 2020 has knocked us down. It really has, but we will get back up.
Yeah, that's amazing because obviously I've already read the book. And it is an amazing tool. It's interesting because, even though I publish the books and I have an opportunity to read the books in advance, I also purchase the books. Obviously, I have a copy of them, but I want to support my authors too. Thank you. So I'm going to be writing in my book too, because even as a retiree who hasn't totally retired, I have a risk of burning out too. Mm-hmm. And so this book is an amazing tool to catch it before it becomes burnout.
Yes.
That's the key. That's the key. That really is the key.
Yeah. And that is the critical piece for all of us. And sometimes you don't realize until you're in the midst of it. And you said something about Superwoman earlier. And, even for our wonderful men that have joined us today as well, for our women, there is something innate in us about taking care of everybody else. But the one person that doesn't get taken care of is us. We always leave ourselves behind. And my friends know I've used this quote for many years that I created, that Superwoman is a myth. She does not exist. She does not exist. We think she does. And I know I have worn my cape for many years. But then I wrote a blog some years ago about retiring my cape. And then I thought, you know what? I need to shred my cape because I retire the cape and then I put the cape back on. And then I take it off. But no, we need to shred it, eliminate it completely. And it's just recognizing that we cannot do it all. There's a perception, and many of us are. But my thing is, at what cost? At what cost? And I think that's what 2020 has really showed us as well, with everything that we've experienced. I talk in the book about reflecting on when you think about your leadership pace and resetting your pace for life. I ask you as the reader, reflect on what's really important to you. Mm-hmm. What's really important to you? 2020 has put that in perspective for me of what's really matters. Even in getting this book done and the website and getting everything relaunched, my mom went through a health journey. That's more important. That's so much more important. So yes, I'm grateful to be able to do this wonderful work, but then I want to go sit with her and just lay in the bed and love on my mother, as she's getting older. None of us are promised tomorrow. So that's what really is important. And so that's the other message I want to encourage the reader to think about. Our careers are very important. And you, Danola, successful career, retired, but now multiple businesses, publishing, consulting, everything, So I'm like, okay, I want Danola to read the book too.
Exactly.
It's true. But I do believe that God just placed so many wonderful gifts in all of us. And I remember many years ago, God said to me, April, I didn't ask you to kill yourself for me.
Right.
So we just have to recognize that as much as we have so much within us to share with the world, we do have to do it in a very healthy, balanced way. And it's taking some very simple steps to do that every single day. My new theme for 2020 is simplicity for sanity's sake. Simplicity.
Love that.
Keep it simple. Everything needs to be simple. And my thing now is, if it's complicated, I don't want it. No, it has to be simple, because it's the small things that we can do each and every day, like our workout, getting a daily workout in, that physical exercise, not making that complicated. Take a good walk, get outside. Definitely. Yeah.
So for our listeners, if you have questions for April, please put them in the chat. And we'll try to get to some of those because we really want you to know what you want to know about April. I see Aisha's been posting a lot of comments. She's one of your number one supporters.
Yes, I love my beautiful prayer sister, Aisha Lewis, who had a number one bestseller.
Yes,
Barnes and
absolutely.
Noble, Walmart picked up. So yeah, and you know, Danoa, that is a gift. You are a gift
Oh,
because you
thank
are allowing all of us as authors to really bring our vision to life. And I firmly believe, and I know this vision is not just for us. This vision around the burnout factor and leadership resilience expert and chief peace officer, it's not about me. It's
Yeah.
about using our journeys. And that's what Aisha did, using our life journeys and what we've come through and where we are today to bless others, because we are
Right.
blessed to be a blessing. We are
That's
blessed to be a
right.
blessing. And that's my thing. If I can share and help someone else not have what I call my brick wall moment, I laugh a little bit because I said I had a brick wall moment, but for many, many years, I felt like God was throwing a pebble at my head. And then I felt like he threw a brick and then he laid a wall. And so I say to people, let my journey be a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Really recognize that we can, as you shared, catch it before it happens. And if it does happen, I want to speak to anyone right now who is feeling exhausted and burned out and stressed. We have had a very, very tough year. But that is the encouragement that I work to do through the consulting work that I do and through the book, to know that we can persevere through that. And I would be remiss not to acknowledge this day that we've just experienced today. And it was interesting. I was listening to one of the commentators, and they were talking about President-elect Joe Biden and his resilience and his perseverance. This is the third time that he has run for president. And now he has achieved it. And we have an African-American vice president-elect, what makes me want to run around this room right now.
I know. It's amazing.
In our new president-elect, an example of resilience and perseverance in life. Everyone knows his life journey and the losses that he experienced. And look at where he is.
I wonder if there's a way we can get this book to our upcoming new vice president.
I believe, I speak those things into fruition. I think that she could. She's my sorority sister. So somehow, through Alpha Sorority Incorporated, I will be able to get that book to her.
That would be amazing. We do have a question. So who do you feel is your target audience for this book?
You know, it's interesting when I wrote the book, because it is focused on leaders, but my term of leadership is very broad, because I say you could be a leader, you could be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, or you could be leading e-learning for your children in your home. You're a leader in your own right. And so the book is really for anyone. It's just my area of specialty is around leadership. But I encourage everyone to read this book, because, again, it really is a book that allows you to reflect on where we've been in 2020, to do some honest introspection about how you've been feeling in 2020, and then starting to create a plan for emerging out of this period, because we will emerge. And I still firmly believe we've been through a lot, but we will emerge healthier and stronger. And I think with a different perspective and appreciation for things. So that's really the audience. So it's broad leadership. My definition of leadership is broad. In education, I always say that a leader is the custodian up to the principal. So we're all leaders in our own right. Definitely.
Yeah. I think that people have the wrong perception of leader. I think they many times think that a leader has to be a supervisor, a person that is over people. But there are so many ways that we can be a leader. And especially, just like you stated, in the home today, where we are overseeing e-learning and our jobs and everything all at the same time, we are all exhibiting leadership. And even if you're I'm going to say just a stay-at-home mom, you know what? Now that I'm retired, I told my husband, I'm not prepared to be a stay-at-home mom. That's too much work.
And that's actually the hardest job there is. That's the hardest leadership role there is.
Oh my gosh, yes it is. So everyone has the ability to lead, and everyone has the ability to be burned out. So I'm so excited for this book. We've talked a little bit about sustainable leadership, but I don't know if people really know what sustainable leadership, the company, is, and what you do with sustainable leadership.
Sure. So Sustainable Leadership is my consulting business, and it is a mission-driven consulting business dedicated to strengthening leadership and also creating healthy organizational cultures. I'm a firm believer that we are products of our environment. And so all of us are in cultures, in environments, and many of us are in work cultures. And I always say, you should really enjoy where you work and who you work with. And so my focus is really recognizing that we can support the leader at the top of an organization, but we've got to support everyone else as well. So I've been fortunate in my consulting work to work with executive directors and CEOs and leaders, but also their leadership teams. And we take a very holistic approach to leadership. I have an assessment that I utilize with my clients, and it digs deep. It digs really deep. It's a behavior-based assessment. And so a lot of assessments, if anyone's taken it, you get those metrics back. This is so much more than that because it goes deeper into why we function the way we do, why we do what we do at our core. And, the tagline of my business is building leaders within, because I believe that's really how you have transformation, is you go within to build the outside. And so I've been fortunate to do executive coaching one-on-one. I'm not doing as much executive coaching as I was before, but I do one-on-one coaching with executives.
Because you don't want to get burned out.
Yes, I have been doing for the last 8 months. I have had 3 full-time jobs, including taking wonderful care of my beautiful parents. And so I'm supposed to be going on sabbatical sometime. But yeah, so I've done executive coaching one-on-one. And then the other piece that I really love is the teamwork, working with teams, really supporting the leader and their teams. We had these amazing, when we were able to come together in person, leadership resilience retreats. So we would come together and step away from the work and really have some time of reflection. And then I also do speaking engagements, which used to be in person, that are now virtual, which are wonderful. But that is sustainable leadership. Again, the tagline is building leaders within. The work is focused on building us all up from the inside out so we can really thrive in the work that we do.
Yeah. I don't see any other questions from the audience, but feel free to still type them because we'll come back through and answer questions later. But just as a reminder, if you have purchased the ebook, remember the ebook is still on sale on Amazon for 99 cents, and it will go up to $9.99. I think it is. Isn't that right?
I think so. Yes.
$9.99. And I believe that's on Monday when it'll go up to $9.99. So get your copy of the ebook while it's still 99 cents. That's a whole lot of difference between $9 and 99 cents. So get the ebook while it's 99 cents. And then the paperback book became available today on Amazon.
Yes.
You'll be able to purchase there, or you can purchase at aprilirvin.com. Or you can purchase at enhancedDNApublishing.com. Now, if you purchase from enhancedDNApublishing.com or aprilirvin.com, you will get an autographed copy.
Yes.
If you order it from Amazon, it will come directly to you. And unless you want to hunt April down to get an autograph, that's the only way you'll get it autographed. So you'll want to get an autographed copy if you want one by purchasing it through aprilirvin.com or enhancedDNApublishing.com. So
excellent. Yes. And I do love to autograph books, so I am more than happy to do that and share a little encouraging message in them as well.
April, what other things do you want to share with everyone before we close out this session?
I think, again, I just want to say thank you. There have been many people that have supported me in this journey, and this journey is just not 2020. This has been a long time coming when I have been working to bring the full vision of the burnout factor to life. And it's actually a series. I already have the next title, even though I said I cannot publish another book right now. But it is a series. But the message I just want to leave to everyone is to recognize that, the title of this book is about managing burnout in a time of unprecedented change. And we don't know what's to come. We truly don't. But I believe that if, as individuals, if we take the time to truly focus on ourselves, to take the best care of ourselves, to think of creative ways that we can strengthen our leadership and our work that we do, but just also as individuals and human beings, that we really can sustain through just about anything. I share in the book, I have had multiple resets in my life. I think I list about 5. I probably could have listed about 5 more, but multiple resets that really changed every aspect of my life. But what it blessed me with is a 7-year journey that really transformed me completely from the inside out. As I shared, at the age of 35, I was 100 pounds heavier than I am today. And the reality is I recognized that was just an outside reflection about what I was dealing out with on the inside and really sacrificing myself. So that's my encouragement for everyone to know you can still serve a life of purpose without sacrificing everything to get there. And the other thing that I'll share, at the end of 2019, I set this amazing goal. I said that I wanted to help 1 million people eliminate burnout by the end of 2025. Well, then 2020 hit. So all those opportunities that I had to really help people do that really went out the door, but then they shifted. So they didn't go away, they just shifted. And so that goal is still there. Yeah. And I always say that I know the power of 10. April Ervin can't help 1 million people eliminate burnout by 2025. But if you help yourself and then you help 10 other people and they help 10 other people, then we have a movement. We have a movement, and we can shift from this place of continuous stress and exhaustion and worry and anxiety to a place of peace and balance and health and really living the lives that we deserve to live. The other thing that I share about Arianna Huffington in the book, and you all are probably familiar with her. She's a former CEO of the Huffington Post, and now she has an amazing platform where she focuses on burnout as well. On Thrive Global. So I call myself the Black Arianna Huffington. I think I'm in good company. But it's just a recognition that everyone is beginning to talk about this because this is a real issue. Yeah. And so this is why it's so passionate for me to help other people realize that we don't have to burn out, that we can come to the place we can still be successful, but we don't have to sacrifice ourselves to do it.
Well, April, you say that you may not be able to help 1 million people, but through this book,
yes,
you may never know the number of people that you're able to help, because there are millions of people that see Amazon and all the different distributors of books. And this book is so needed, and it's already a bestseller on Amazon.
Yes.
And so you don't know that you have already started to help others just by having the book available. Those that have already pre-ordered the ebook, it will download to your whatever your favorite method of reading books, whether it's a phone, a Kindle app, or iPad, whatever it might be. It'll download on the 10th, and then you'll be able to start reading it. But if you really like to write and make your own notes, then you'll also want to get the paperback book. The paperback book will be $19.99, and it is available right now. Again, I'll state it again, on Amazon at aprilirvin.com and at enhancedDNApublishing.com. You'll see scrolling across the bottom of the screen the different ways that you can get in touch with April. And so she has her website, she's got email, and she would love to hear from you at April at aprilirvin.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of those. You can find her at April L. Ervin. Please follow her and watch her journey. She is someone to watch. She is an amazing leader herself, and we are so thankful that she's working with Enhanced DNA Publishing, but that she is putting out work that is going to be beneficial to all of you. With that, I want to remind everybody, don't forget to put in the comments that you purchased an ebook or a paperback book. You have until Monday to do that. If you've already purchased it, please enter that in the comments, because somebody's going to win a $25 gift card to Amazon. And we're hopeful that when you get this card that you'll buy all of the Enhanced DNA books with it.
That's a lot of books, Danola, for one.
That's a lot of books.
25, like,
That's okay.
there are
That's
a lot of
okay.
books on Amazon. But yes, I'm hopeful that someone can be blessed with that. And definitely, I want to reiterate that. I would love for folks to reach out to me because we're in this together. I always say that we're not in this alone. And again, we're emerging to the latter end of 2020, but we've got to support each other. We've got to create a community. On my website, there's a Greater Peace Now tribe. They say now we're calling it a tribe instead of a community. So you got to come together with like-minded people because we can't do this by ourselves. We really need to support each other in this. So definitely please reach out to me.
Yeah, check out the website. That sounds exciting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
so
it's
I might want to join the tribe.
I know. Just today, the new website launched. And I have to thank my web developer, Jason, who was extraordinary because that is not my gifting. Even though I've created websites, that is not my gifting. So if you, Jason Nye, if you go to aprilirvin.com, you can see a creative vision that was in his head that has now come to fruition that I'm grateful for. And again, that Greater Peace Now tribe really coming together to support each other on a monthly basis and just say, you know what, we can do this together. Because we know, especially as we are socially distanced and dispersed and not connecting in person, we need more engagement. And I don't know about any of you, I've been on enough Zoom calls and Microsoft Team calls for work. Sometimes it's nice to just get on a call that's not work related and just encourage each other. So definitely go to aprilirvin.com and check out the new website.
Yeah. I will say that there are lots of comments. We will definitely go through all of those comments. Some of you are putting in there that you've purchased the ebook, you've purchased the paperback book. I do see there's another question, and it says, is leadership inherently in every individual, do you think?
You know what? I think there's a leader in all of us. And I'm going to share a brief story. I know we're getting
April, it looks like you're frozen on us a little bit. Can you start your answer again?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I do. I can hear you, but you're frozen. So just go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. So I will tell the story that it's actually one of my elementary school teachers that told me I was a leader in the 3rd grade. And I believed her. And so I do believe there's leadership in all of us. And it was funny. I had a speaking engagement earlier this year and she was in the audience. So I had a chance to thank her because she told me I was a leader, and it was my gym teacher, and she just put me at the front of everything. So she made me believe I was a leader. So I believe that we're all leaders. And Danola, you shared it earlier. It's not about the leadership is not because you supervise someone. We have different leadership gifts, but I do believe there is a leader in all of us. We're leaders in our homes. We're leaders in our families. We're leaders in our work. We're leaders in our churches and our areas of faith. So all of us have the gift of leadership. Sometimes it just needs to be brought out.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, this has been amazing. I can't thank you enough. I really just can't. I mean, I'm grateful that you selected Enhanced DNA Publishing to publish this book. It is an amazing book. I'm hopeful that everyone gets the book. And in fact, I'm going to do one more thing for us. So for those of you who are listening, if you have purchased the ebook and have not purchased the paperback book, I'm going to take one of those people who has purchased the ebook and I'm going to personally provide a paperback book for one of those people. So make sure that you put in there whether you've purchased the ebook. And then if you've purchased the paperback book, definitely you'll be entered to win the $25 Amazon gift card. So
definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage folks too, both books, Burnout Factor on Education, Burnout Factor on Leadership. It is a series. And so both of them have some great information in there. And what I recognize, and I know you appreciate this as a publisher, as a writer, it's not necessarily about how much money that you can make from selling your books. It's about how much impact you can have. So that's my mission and that's my goal. If I can help someone, anyone, I always say if I can bless one person to eliminate burnout and embrace their inner resilience, and I've done my job. And so that's why I do encourage people to read the books.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, I'd like to thank you, April. I'd like to thank all of you who have tuned in, all of you who have watched us live, all who are coming to watch through the replay, whether it be on Facebook or whether it's on YouTube. Just thank you to each and every one of you. Again, I'm Denola Burton. I'm with Enhanced DNA Publishing. And if you have a story to tell,
Yes.
please reach out to us. We would be more than happy to assist you in telling your story too. So again, April, I'm going to give you the final word.
I have to again thank you. Again, you are a gift, Denola. Just so many authors have been able to bring their books to life. And so I do encourage, I always say that each and every one of us has at least one book in us. Mm-hmm. So I want to speak to the audience to say, you have a story to tell, and somebody needs that, hear that story, and Denola can help you get that story out. So that's my encouragement. And also just thank you to my community, my family and friends who've supported me already with purchasing the book, and definitely will continue to promote the book and just get it out to the world. We got to get to that million people, 1 million to eliminate burnout. That's a lot of books.
It's a lot.
But I think all things are possible. All things are possible. Right. So I do believe that.
So thank you again, and we'll be looking forward to seeing this continue to rise on the bestseller lists, and see the difference that it makes in everyone's life. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care.